finally got to the made the Kings and got to know Doughty really well. He's like, you named your dog after me, eh? Like, he's like, oh, I was like your role model.
All right, once again, it's time for your favorite bi-weekly Ottawa Senators podcast hosted by Senators employees. Your favorite one.
Your favorite one.
Hopefully the only one. If there's another one going on that we don't know about, that some other staff members
Everyone's just hiding it from us.
Yeah. They're like, actually, it's a
Who
week.
knows?
Theirs is weekly.
Theirs is weekly,
We're
yeah.
every other week. We can't be exhausted with these weekly daily shows. I used to do a daily show. That's what's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Now I do every 2 weeks. I'm like, God, this seems exhausting.
Yeah, you've mentioned like doing a daily radio show during the pandemic.
Yeah.
From like, that's crazy.
4 hours. Imagine, go back to March of 2020 till about October of 2020. I don't know, I guess, no, maybe August. I think sports kind of came back. But March, April, May, June, and into July, every day, 4 hours a day, didn't miss a show, and actually never struggled for content, believe it or not.
But it says a lot about like the characters you had, I guess, the guests you'd have on, and I guess, I don't know, the content of the show.
Yeah.
If you didn't struggle for it.
One of our themes was sports. Every day was a different theme.
Yeah.
And we did Film Fridays. Okay. So every Thursday night everyone would go back, you'd watch, and we'd encourage our listeners to do the same thing. This is back on TSN 1200. And everyone goes to watch a movie, a sports movie.
Yep.
And then the next day we talk about it. We break it down and see. And one of the best ones we ever did.
It's like a book club, I guess.
I think it was Rookie of the Year. Yeah, book club.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year, the baseball movie.
Yep.
And we had one of the great debates on radio. And in fact, you're wearing the perfect outfit for this.
Am I?
Because I think the kid, is it Kevin? Well, every kid is Kevin in every movie in the 90s. So
Chicago Kevin.
Yeah.
Home Alone.
So anyway, Rowan Gardner, I think is his name, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, the opening scene is he's playing his little league game and he's wearing jeans. And we had a great debate on the radio. And maybe this is a question we ask our listeners, viewers. What's a sport you think you could do reasonably well wearing denim?
Didn't we ask? We mentioned this earlier on in the year.
We brought it up to Tim.
Yeah.
Because he learned how to skate in jeans.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we asked him, but I don't think did we ask the listeners?
I don't know if we did. I don't know if we did. Anyway,
I don't know. We have to go back like
12
9
episodes in now. All of a sudden, we're forgetting.
We're a bi-weekly show.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do think that you could excel, like I don't even think I could golf in jeans. I think it'd be weird.
It'd be warm. Oh, golfing in jeans would be, just thinking about it. I mean, I'm in jeans now, so it would be warm. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we just wrapped up the Olympics. I wonder what would you luge in jeans?
Luge in jeans.
I think that'd be tough to do.
Yeah, I think you could curl in jeans. Curling seems like
you could
probably get away with it.
Yeah, you probably could. Anyway, we have some notes as well from the last episode.
We'd like to hear from our listeners and viewers. Yep. Communications@ottawasenators.com. Tell us about a sport that you think you could thrive at wearing blue jeans. And Jackson, once again, this episode has done all the work, all the legwork.
Yeah.
And he's got all the emails.
All of a sudden, you're just hashing out work to everyone. It seems
that's right.
Or at least me.
I should have realized that I should just be doling out work to other people.
That's exactly. You do it for your teaching job, I guess.
Right.
So you're handing out stuff. But anyway, so we got so mostly all of these are guesses for this jersey, the red jersey. In the back here.
So back last episode that we had with Brooke Henderson, right? Yep. We had somebody who wrote in and basically said like, "Hey, what's that jersey? That's hanging behind Jackson's head? It's a number 1 red kind of old school Sens jersey." And we challenged you, the viewer, the listener, to come up with your guesses.
Yes.
So what do we got?
So first guess comes from Tim Turriff. Hi, Ian and Jackson.
Tim Turriff.
Tim Turriff. He wrote in earlier in the year as well.
Weirdly close to Jimmy Jolliker.
Yeah, exactly. TT.
You remember Jimmy
JJ
Jolliker?
and TT? Yeah, exactly. Here's my guess for the mystery jersey: Simon Lajeunesse.
Simon Lajeunesse.
Yes. Another one of those things.
Late 90s, early 2000s goalie. I think he played one game.
One game.
Yeah.
Played one game with the Sens. Hell of a pick. Go Sens, go, Tim. Matt LaFrance. Hi, Ian and Jackson. I have a guess on the red jersey. That's usually behind you. Knowing how Ian is with trivia and Sens lore, has to be an obscure player. So on that note, probably a long shot, but keeping in mind that the last name ends with an E, his number 1 guess was Simon Lajeunesse as well. So Matt LaFrance also guesses Simon Lajeunesse. Okay. Quick one from Cliff Simpson. Hi, Ian and Jackson. Enjoying your show. Season ticket holder from the start in 92. Thinking the red sweater might be number 12, Mike Fisher. He signed it Dr. Bob, but the email was Cliff Simpson.
Dr. Bob?
I don't know.
That's like the Dr. Bob that used to call into the radio show.
Oh,
maybe.
there you go. Maybe it is.
Dr. Bob from
Maybe it is.
Leamington, I think was his
There you
full
go.
handle.
Next one, Dave Mason from Victoria, BC. Hi, Ian and Jackson. I'll go with Shane Prince, number 10.
Shane Prince, the winger formerly known as Prince. Yeah, Shane Prince.
Yeah. It's taking what's the word? A lot of different guesses, like just I don't know, exuberant guesses, I guess.
Exuberant guesses.
Is that the right word? I was looking for it.
I don't feel like that's the right
No,
word,
probably
but we'll
not.
go with it. But Shane
Out of
Prince,
pocket?
that's the type of, out of pocket.
Yeah.
Shane Prince is exactly Simon Lajeunesse, Shane Prince. These are the types of guesses. Like Dr. Bob came in with Mike Fisher.
Yep.
I feel like that's too mainstream.
It's a little bit mainstream, and it
Dr.
doesn't
Bob.
end with an E, Mike Fisher, as well.
Yeah.
Aaron McFarlane, hi. I believe the red
Aaron
jersey.
McFarlane, A-A-R-O-N or E-R-I-N?
E-R-I-N.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe the red jersey behind the black one belonged to Alex Daigle, number 91. That's a good guess with the
There's
E.
a 1 and an E.
It's a good
But
guess.
I don't think Alex would have ever played in that. No, he wouldn't
No,
have
I
played
don't think
in
so.
that
That's
jersey.
what I was thinking as well. Sakun guesses, hi, Ian and Jackson. First, great job on the podcast. It's different and interesting. On the last podcast, there was a question about the jersey on the back. If it's a player, I think Yanni Herme.
Yanni Horme. He was number 35, though, I think.
Was he?
But he did end with an E.
Could have been like a special jersey. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cody Cardinal. So we go from TT,
The
Tim
CC.
Turf to CC, Cody Cardinal. He writes in and goes, hey, Ian and Jackson, my guess on that red jersey would be Patrick Traverse. I'm a huge hockey nerd.
Yeah.
And since I saw the EI or the E1, I was thinking it would be one of the only ones that have an E that has an E that ends in an E with a name during that period. Hopefully it's accurate or close.
Okay, so what's the name of this guy? Cody Cardinal?
Cody Cardinal.
And his guess was?
His guess was Patrick Traverse.
Patrick Traverse. Well, it ends in an E.
Started his career with Sens, I believe.
I thought, was he number 3, Patrick Traverse? I guess we could.
I don't know.
I don't know why I
Motioning
motioned that out in the
makes
air.
a big difference.
But I think potentially
Okay.
he was number 3. But nope. I
No, I
don't know.
Don't
But
think
that's-
so.
I like the spirit of this. I like the spirit of Patrick Traverse.
Yeah.
Simon Lajeunesse. It's that type of obscurity
that you
we
like
crave.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bilal writes in, good morning, or I guess good afternoon now, but good morning when he wrote in, gentlemen. Based on the hints, I don't think that the Red Sens jersey belongs to a player,
What?
but rather an anthem singer.
Whoa.
I think it's the jersey Alanis Morissette wore, singing the national anthem during the Stanley Cup Finals. Looking forward to finding out, Bilal. He's not the only Alanis guest as well. Daniel Luther, who wrote in last time, writes in again. Hi, Ian and Jackson. Thanks for taking an interest in my question regarding the hanging red jersey, and I believe I may have figured out the answer to my question. I think the jersey is Ottawa's own Alanis Morissette from her national anthem during Game 4 of the 2007 Stanley Cup Finals, which would be a wonderful piece from the modern Senators' modern history. By the way, I too have never heard of drinking chocolate milk with salt, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
So a little note from Daniel Luther.
So multiple
Alanis
for
guesses.
Alanis.
Yep.
Ends with an E.
Yep.
Number 1, maybe.
Maybe. Last one comes from Rob Scott, who did have a guess for this jersey.
Did Rob Scott not win an autograph card from us this year?
He did, yes.
The Drake Batherson
card. He did. He wrote it again. We're becoming like the messenger between Rob Scott and my grandmother, it seems, at this point, because he's writing to my grandma again.
Why don't we just connect them via iPad to iPad connection?
Exactly. Thank you for your detailed answer, says Rob Scott, about mustaches and beards.
Did you say mustaches?
What am I supposed to say? Mustaches? Mustaches? Mustache. He wrote it mustache. He really.
I find that odd. I just think that it's a mustache.
Okay,
isn't it?
mustache and beards.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on. I think Jackson will seriously think about this when planning his next new look, quote unquote. I wanted to get your opinion on a pressing health issue brought up in the last episode of Absolute Non-Sens. You may have noticed that Ian was dumbfounded when he heard that Jackson and Brooke Henderson have never tried adding salt to their chocolate milk. What's your take on this? Do you feel that Ian has a good point and is offering delicious advice, or is he presuming your grandson to increase his salt intake?
Presuming? What does that mean?
Pressuring. My bad. I'm reading too quickly. I got too excited to get to.
Why are you so nervous to read?
I'm not too nervous. Mustache.
Presuming.
Pressuring your grandson to increase his salt intake, thereby possibly leading to a lifetime of unhealthy eating habits. Your fans want to know. Yeah. As in my grandma's fans want to know.
We can cut grandma out of this, right? Absolutely. Nope. I'm trying to raise Jackson's sodium levels. That's I've been transparent.
Oh
about
yeah,
that
exactly. Yeah, that's one of the
rise your blood pressure.
One of the big keys that you've got for me. And his guess for the jersey was Yanni Herme as well. A blast from the past, he says.
Okay.
So, thank you, Rob Scott.
We'll say this: Yanni Herme, Simon Lajeunesse, Patrick Traverse, Alanis Morissette. 4 people who've never been in my house. That's one of those classics.
We'll start there.
But swing and a miss on all of them.
Swing
I think
and
there's
a
a couple
miss.
of other guesses. Swing and a miss.
Yep.
Keep them coming, though. Communications@ottawasenators.com.
It's gonna be interesting to see if anyone can get it.
Okay. This is a fun episode coming up of Absolute Non-Sens.
Yes, it is.
Jordan Spence.
Ends with an E.
And number, no.
Almost
Just
there. Well, we got
what?
Prince number 10. We got Spence now number 10.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Hope you enjoyed this conversation with Sens defenseman Jordan Spence.
The Absolute Non-Sens podcast is furnished by Dalla Decor, the official luxury furniture partner of the Ottawa Senators. Ian and I sit on these super comfortable chairs every episode, and we thank our lucky stars, wink wink, that we have such a great partner in Dalla Decor.
All right, Jackson, when we launched the podcast back in the fall, and we were going through the list of potential guests and going through the roster.
Yep.
Our guest today, this is a guy that he was at the top of our list because we said this guy is one of the most interesting, unique athletes in the National Hockey League.
He really is. I agree, for sure.
So we've set the bar high for him. So he better be interesting and he better be unique. It's Jordan Spence.
You're putting me on the spot, but okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the pod.
No, happy to be here.
Yeah. Listen, we're as we told you before, it's a fun podcast. Easy breezy questions. Really nothing. We're not allowed to even ask hockey questions. We're not allowed to ask you about power play and breakouts and all of that. But we want to ask you about life in Ottawa because you're coming from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We're recording this end of February, kind of early March. You can be honest with us. Are there days where you pine for the weather in Southern California?
I mean, of course. I don't know. There were just a lot of things to do in LA just regarding to, going to NFL games, NBA games, soccer games, like anything. There's just many things to do. And, in Ottawa, there's, there isn't, but at the same time, there's obviously pros and cons to living in different cities. And you know what? I don't mind living in Ottawa. It's been great.
Do you get what's the difference in getting recognized in LA versus Ottawa? Like, what's that like for you from an athlete's perspective, living in, a hub like LA towards Ottawa now?
Yeah, it's actually a big difference, to be honest with you, just because in LA, they don't know you at all, just because there's just so many, I don't know. There's a lot of famous people that live in LA, and, I think hockey is, not at the very top when it comes to being like a celebrity, I guess you can say. But, obviously in Ottawa, the Sens are the biggest thing here. So, I do get recognized, and, it's a little different.
So I love that you mentioned, there's all sorts of options for you to do things in LA. Did you ever get to see Otani in action?
Yeah.
What's that like? Because that's the one, if you ask me right now, pick one athlete that is at the top of their game that you'd like to see live, it would be Otani for me. And you were basically in his backyard there. So what was that like?
It was pretty cool. Obviously, when he was with the Angels before the Dodgers, he was kind of an up and coming guy, and he started to get really famous. And once he got to the Dodgers, it wasn't just me, to be honest with you. Everyone was like, oh my God, we got to go watch him play. So I probably went to 3-4 of the Dodgers game, and obviously he was there, and he actually hit a dinger too. It was pretty cool, especially for me growing up in Japan. He's from Japan, so for him to be doing really well and being successful with his sport, it's pretty cool to see.
You mentioned Japan. Bounced around a little bit throughout basically your entire life, right? And throughout your career as well. What's it been like to experience all these different places? You mentioned LA, Ottawa now, but going back to PEI, Japan as well. What's it been like to just kind of have this experience of being able to live in different places?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, I think personally for myself, I get to experience different cultures, and especially living in Japan, I love Japan. It's my family still lives there. And actually last year I went back to Japan for a couple weeks to kind of with my family to go see my my aunt and my uncle, and then kind of seeing all the roots, I guess, of where I came from, like the house that I was at. I used to play baseball, so we went to like the old baseball field, the rink that I started skating in. So it was actually pretty cool because the last time I went there was when I moved to PEI. So it's been a while. So it was pretty cool.
So what you mentioned the rink that you skated on in Japan. Like I would imagine it's a completely different world than here. Here you can barely, throw a stone, you're going to hit a rink. There's rinks everywhere. How many rinks were there where you grew up in Japan? Just the one, or was there?
No, there was a few. I think, now like the game is growing in Japan as well. And I wouldn't be surprised with the rinks that they've built throughout the years that I wasn't even there. But when I was there, I would say that there wasn't like, where I grew up, there wasn't like a lot of teams that we would go against. But, I think it was pretty cool just because in Japan, like we wouldn't really have a lot of games, like just regular games where we play against other teams. It was just more of a lot of like practices. So like we would practice like 5 times a week sometimes as a kid, and then have a game maybe once a week or something like that. So that's kind of like the biggest thing that I found, like especially coming to PEI in Canada. You're playing games. There's spring hockey tournaments. There's just so many things, so many available options. But it was like an eye opening, especially when you go to PEI. It's such a small island. There's rinks legit everywhere.
Yeah.
But it was also really cool to kind of experience all that as well.
You mentioned the eye opening. I don't think you didn't speak English, right, when you moved from Japan to PEI?
Yeah, it's kind of funny just because, like, I would understand, like, my dad's full Canadian. So, like, when I was in Japan, like, I would speak in Japanese the whole time. Like, obviously, just because my family, my mom's full Japanese, my grandparents, I spoke Japanese to them, my friends, teachers, everything. And then my dad was kind of like the odd man out a little bit just because, like, he can speak and he's actually pretty good at it. But at the time, like, I didn't want to learn another language, even though, like, my dad's like, okay, here, like, it's important for you to learn English, especially if we have family in PEI. So before I moved, like, I could barely, like, talk or even, like, I don't know, write or anything. Like, I would have, like, hello, like, how are you, blah, blah, blah. But, once I moved to PEI, like, they were saying that I would always, like, talk as, like, third person. So, like, if I'm, like, saying, like, if I'm hungry, like, I'll just be like, Jordan hungry, or like Jordan tired. So it was just kind of like, it was a big adjustment, honestly. For like, sure. I obviously, like, at the time, like, I thought that was like a normal thing to say, but I try to learn as quick as I can so I can start communicating well with other people.
That's great. So,
and were there like one of the things when I speak to people that are just learning English, television shows are a huge thing. Was that big for you? Did you learn English, the nuances of English, a little bit through some TV shows?
For me, I think it was more like listening to songs. So, like, I think in Japan, I was really into Black Eyed Peas and LMFAO. so I would actually, like, it was kind of funny because I would go to practice sometimes and, like, my dad would play, like, I don't know, Party Rock or like Pump It by Black Eyed Peas, and I would just like love listening to it. So I think when I moved to PEI, like I'm like a big like listening song kind of guy. So like I think that's like one of the things that I kind of had to, I don't know, like learn some of the words from the songs that I would listen to. So but I would also like watch like back in the day like Harry Potter and like bunch of those movies as well. So
you can get by in Canada with just the lyrics to Party Rock, probably, could you?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember, to be honest.
No, but yeah, go ahead.
So like, I mean, you were you 12 or 13? How old were you?
I was 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
12. And as the story goes, and you can tell us if we're wrong on this, because sometimes when you read stories that are out there, you never know if it's 100% accurate. But the story goes that your dad and Adam, right?
Yeah.
Is your dad, and he was on the Dad Ship.
He was.
Your dad's such a great
yeah.
that he saw the potential in you to be to kind of make it a living out of hockey. I'd like to know how, like, when you're in Japan, like, is also a lot of pressure on you where, like, you're 12 years old and now you're going to fly all the way halfway around the world because your dad thinks you can, like, what, like, and what did he see in you? Or, like, were you just dominating this league over there, or what was going on?
Well, before, like, we were deciding, like, if we were going to move to PEI, like, I started baseball same time that I started hockey. So, baseball was like another sport that I really liked playing, and especially in Japan, like, baseball is like, it's really big there, and like the practices and the games. You know what? Like the baseball with like the practices and the games and like the intensity is like the same in Canada with hockey. So, people are very like into baseball, and I started to really like it. And I started like at the same time, so like 6 years old, I started playing hockey and baseball. And once I turned 11, 12, around there, my dad kind of sat me down and just talked about what, like, you're getting to the age where you kind of have to just play one sport if you want to really pursue it. And, it was a tough decision, just because, if I think if I picked baseball, I would have stayed in Japan and, just kept playing there. And, and then if obviously I chose hockey. So, I think there was just a lot of moving parts, especially with, I think one of the reason was that I could pursue hockey, but there's also another reason of, like, my dad's family side also lives in PEI, so it's kind of a cool, not cool experience, but it'll be good to kind of, for myself and my little sister, to kind of experience a different culture and how different it is, and also learn another language and kind of see what the differences are. And and so obviously we moved to PEI when I was 12, and kind of kept going from there, really.
Yeah. Could I ask you about baseball a bit? You mentioned the Dodgers and watching that, but what'd you play? Did you play any, like, what positions? Were you a good hitter, better fielder?
I was shortstop, and I think as I was growing up, I think you just play a lot of positions, like, when you're growing up. Like, I was catcher once, but the biggest two positions that I played was probably pitcher and shortstop. And then I don't think I think I was a good hitter as well. So I don't know, like, it was so long ago, but at the same time, I do miss it a little bit of kind of the Japanese baseball that I experienced when I was a little kid.
As a pitcher, what was your go-to, like, changeup?
For me, I was either, a fastball or a curveball.
Yeah.
Could throw a curveball. Wow.
And now, what were you? Do you know any idea on the radar, like mid 80s or high 80s, or any idea?
It's so funny because we kind of talk about that, like, just with us on the team, like, and even with my dad. And I'm just like, we're talking about, like, how some guys are saying it's hard if, like, we won't be able to get 80 miles an hour, but I don't know. Like, I kind of do want to try it just to see, like, where it's at. Obviously I'm not going to be like 90 or 85 but I'm just curious, like, where I would be, like, and same with the other guys too.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be up there for like, we know, like, Clev's got a hard shot on the ice, but who'd be the fastest, do you think, to
throw in a
fastball or something like that? He's
honestly, I'm just thinking right now.
Maybe it's you.
Like, honestly, like, besides me, like, let's say, like, besides me, like, I would probably say, I think Rids, he used to play little league baseball. So, like, I think he would have a good arm.
Shane?
Yeah, I was going to say Pence. Pence and Rids is probably the two guys that I would say, like, would have a good arm.
You know who I think was also a sneaky good ball player? Was Shabby.
Really?
I think Shabbat was a really good ball player.
Yeah, but we don't have to pump him up, though.
No,
like, we have to chirp him instead of pumping him up. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, you know, we talk about like Japanese culture, and you spoke about the baseball, but like I'm a big foodie, so you go all over the world in different places. What are some of the foods that you pick up? Like, do you still make some Japanese foods? Like, what's that difference, I guess, as you go all these different places?
Yeah, well, I don't really make a lot of Japanese food. I'm not a big cook, but my mom makes a lot of food that, you know, I kind of grew up in Japan, and I don't know, like she makes a lot of food, and it's so good. I don't know, it's obviously like the go-to will probably be sushi. Like sushi's so big there, but you know, there's so many other things that I guess like North American people wouldn't know, like that are very good in Japan. Like, I don't know, there's like the ramen's really good there. Obviously, a lot of people know that. Ramen, sushi. Like there's a thing called teppanyaki, and that's like
octopus, balls.
No, that's takoyaki.
Oh, takoyaki.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
takoyaki's those are really good.
Yeah.
Like udon. I don't know. Like I can keep like naming like a bunch of foods, but I think that's like the biggest thing that I've also missed was just like the Japanese food that I liked most about is like just everything. I don't know, like it's so hard to pinpoint like my favorite food, but at the same time it's pretty cool, especially being able to go back in the summer and kind of experiencing all again and tasting a bunch of different foods.
And I can't remember if it was last summer or 2 summers ago where you went back and you actually ran a clinic, like a youth school, right? Like a camp.
Yeah.
What is that like to be able to go back and to really truly be a role model? Because it's probably really hard for a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid growing up in Japan to think like, oh, maybe I could play in the NHL. But then when they can actually see someone who lived in Japan at that age, it probably changes things. So that must be really rewarding when you go over there and have an experience like that.
Yeah, like, you know, obviously when I was a little kid, I was able to travel to Prince Edward Island and play spring hockey and stuff like that. So I got to experience like some of the NHL guys, and that was Adam McQuaid that was living in Prince Edward Island. I got to meet him, and, you know, I was pretty starstruck. I'm like, well, no way, NHL players. So, you know, obviously, you know, being able to go back to Japan last summer and like do a 2-3 day camp for the little kids. And, you know, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. You know, maybe it could be a small camp or a big camp, but, you know, there was actually a lot of kids that showed up, and, you know, just being able to kind of show face and have conversations with the kids, and, you know, for them to, I guess, like not to, you know, forget about your dreams, especially if you want to become an NHL player. It was a pretty cool moment. And, you know, obviously I kind of want to be that guy where people want to keep playing hockey and to have that dream and that motivation to become an NHL player.
Now, real quick, I'll ask you too, because you mentioned you're having these meaningful conversations with these kids. What language are you speaking?
You know what? It's kind of crazy because I haven't spoke Japanese in a while, so like my Japanese was really rusty. But, you know, obviously when you're there and you kind of start like remembering a bunch of the words that, you know, you kind of forgot in a way. So, you know, there are some times where I would speak in Japanese, and there are actually some kids that actually spoke in English as well. So it was pretty cool to kind of speak in English as well and to kind of have that conversation. And but at the same time, there was also my mom is full Japanese as well. So obviously if I forget a word or like a sentence or something like that, I can just go to her and kind of ask her like, what do I say again? Like I forgot.
Nice. Well, you also kind of being a role model as well in that way. You went back to Australia with the Kings, I believe, right?
Yeah.
2023. And had you been back before to go back to where you were born?
No, I actually haven't. I don't have any memories, like especially being born in Sydney, just because I moved when I was, just a baby. Like I was just a baby, and we moved to Japan. So luckily it was 2 years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago. we went to Melbourne, Australia, and to kind of have that exhibition games against Arizona, and to, I don't know, just being able to kind of see like what Australia was really. Like I had no experience whatsoever, no memory. So kind of just being able to go to another country and seeing like this where my dad and my mom like, you know, traveled and spent time here. Like it was pretty cool. And it was also pretty cool as well where, you know, a lot of people were excited to come see the hockey and to realize like I'm from Sydney, Australia. So it was a cool experience.
When your birthplace is listed in various places, it doesn't say Sydney, it actually says Manly.
It is Manly, yes.
Okay, which sounds like a tough place. Manly, Australia.
Yeah.
What is that, like a part of Sydney?
Yeah, it's like a city. Yeah.
It's a city.
Yeah.
Okay, but like you've, again, like Jackson said, you went back for the first time, so you have no connection. Like, do you have an Aussie passport? Like, are you technically?
No, I do not actually. I just have a Japanese passport and a Canadian passport. I'm not too sure what the rules are with like if I can even get an Australian passport. I'm not too sure, but it would be pretty cool if I did have an Australian passport as well.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Pick who he plays for in the next World Cup of hockey.
Exactly. Yeah. What is the max number of, like, are you allowed to have infinite amount of passports depending on where you've been?
No, it feels like you're not allowed.
You have to probably have a limit, right?
Some countries only allow you to have
just one.
Yeah, I think
really?
so. Or one or maximum two.
Yeah, like citizenship.
It's probably like 2 or 3. Like those are probably the max.
For sure.
I think.
You're pretty close though.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
exactly. Most people aren't.
Yeah.
Have you ever chatted with Nathan Walker, who of course National Hockey Leaguer, who's also born in Australia? I think you two are the only guys in the history of the league to be born in Australia and play in the NHL. Now, he actually spent, I think, a little bit of his childhood growing up. Have you ever chatted with Nathan Walker about Australia?
No, like I don't think I did, to be honest with you. One time, I think when I played my first NHL game, I believe, I think he reached out to me saying like, congrats on my first NHL game and you know, keep going and stuff like that. But there wasn't a moment where, you know, we talked face to face and had a conversation about just anything really, like, and especially Australia.
Nice. And I guess like kind of on that note, there's a couple players who are from Japan who have made it. I mean, the goalie's name is escaping me. The first guy.
Oh, the Kings. He played for the
Los
Kings,
Angeles,
right?
Yeah. His name's escaping
is
me.
it
I feel
Fukufuji?
bad. Yeah, it is Fukufuji.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So have you spoken with any of those guys, or what was it like to kind of look up to a guy like that? I guess if you had experience with that when you were younger, I don't know.
No, honestly, I haven't, to be honest with you. I think like the only time like when I was in Japan that I would watch hockey was the Olympics, and I remember watching it like with my dad, like and the time change was crazy. So that was like the only time that I watched. And obviously when I moved to PEI, I would kind of watch, like, especially for myself, like I'm a defenseman, so I would watch like Carlson when he was in Ottawa, like Doughty, Letang. So those were like kind of the guys that I would watch.
Was it kind of surreal then for you to grow up kind of watching Drew Doughty and then end up playing with him?
Yeah, no, I got a story. It's kind of cringy a little bit, but you know, when I was growing up, when we moved, like, I would, you know, my dad's a big hockey guy, and he grew up playing hockey and stuff. So, you know, we would watch hockey, and especially for myself being a defenseman, my dad started watching defensemen as well, and he really liked Letang, Carlson, Doughty stuff. So I would always watch them, and when I was like 13 or 14, we decided to get a dog, and we were like thinking of a name that we would like name her, and my dad's like, "Hey, what about Doughty?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So my dog's name's Doughty, and then after that, like getting drafted to LA, and like one of the questions, like I went to the draft, and it was in Vancouver, and you know, one of the questions was like, you know, do you have a pet? If so, like, what's like the dog breed and what's the name? And I was like, oh, like I can't, like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
So like after I like said all that stuff, and you know, finally got to the like made the Kings, and like, you know, got to know Doughty really well. He's like, you named your dog after me, eh? Like, he's like, oh, I was like your role model. So it was kind of funny, like when that happened. But I mean, it is what it is. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's great. He led with it, right? Did he lead with it? He led with like, oh, your dog's.
Yeah,
that's
like,
so funny.
He knew.
But he knew because I used to be roommates with Turcotte, and he kind of just like went out of his way to go tell Doughty, and then he came up to me and just being like, "Oh yeah, well, nice dog."
Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, listen, we'll leave it there. Actually, I lied to you when I said we don't have tough questions. We do have one. Tough question that we ask every guest that comes in. And I know you're new to Ottawa, so maybe you won't know the names of the streets or the exits, but here we go. When Jordan Spence is coming to Canadian Tire Center and he's taking the highway and he's coming to the rink, does he exit on Terry Fox Drive or Palladium Drive? Do you know which one you take?
Yeah, I know which one. To be honest with you, I'm always like 50-50. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
that might be
for some reason, like when I'm going to practices, I take the Terry Fox Drive, and then when I go to games, I take the
Palladium.
Yeah, Palladium. Wow. I don't know why. Like, I guess it's kind of just like the rhythm that I'm in, or like, I don't know, superstitious thing. I guess, I don't know. But I don't even know which one's faster either. Like,
no, this is what we're trying to figure out.
This is why we've tried to. We've gotten mixed reactions from everyone. Some people take Palladium.
He's the first
50-50 guy. For sure.
I'm a 50-50, and I still don't know which one's faster. I know the Palladium, like, there's less lights.
Yep. I think you're
than
right.
the Terry Fox.
Yeah.
But if you hit all green lights of Terry Fox, it might be faster than a Palladium.
Hey, see, that's my point. That's the point that I've made all year.
What's the key word that he said? If.
Yeah. If, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a good point. But yeah. First 50-50 guy. I'm a Terry Fox guy. He's a Palladium guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like right in between.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a 50-50.
Love it.
Perfect.
Hey, listen, this was a lot of fun. I think our fans and our listeners are, I think they're really interested in you. I think you have a compelling, unique backstory. We just appreciate you dropping by and sharing some of that with us here in the studio.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Do you like free desserts? I know I do, and as proud supporters of the Ottawa Senators, CIBC is excited to celebrate its clients by offering exclusive rewards and experiences for being part of the CIBC family. Along with a free dessert from Club CIBC, when you pay with your CIBC card, you can get 10% off of the Sens store and at concessions. Enjoy more value, excitement, and reasons to cheer on the Sens this season with CIBC Rewards.
Well, Jackson, we had our first 50-50 guy.
We did.
On the Palladium or Palladium and
Terry Fox. Yeah. He's very...
Practice, Terry Fox. Game day, Palladium. Or game time, Palladium.
Yep. First guy that said that. Very...
Measured.
Very measured answer.
Yeah.
Perfect word for it. Yeah. He was quick with it too. He didn't like think about it too. He was like, I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Good answer. Good answer.
It's interesting too. So we have him sitting down there, and he lists off. You asked him about who were some of the defensemen you grew up idolizing? He's like Letang, Carlson, Doughty, and as soon as he says Doughty, I'm like, oh, I should ask him about what's it like when you play with your somebody you grew up idolizing, and never suspecting in a million years you would get a pet related story that by the way, what the word he used was cringe. He's like,
it was a cringe story.
I'm like, I am here for cringe stories.
Oh,
in fact, next year I'm hoping to rebrand this podcast just Absolute Cringe. You come in with your cringiest stories and embarrassing stories, and I'm here for it. But I'm thinking like that had to be awkward because then it wasn't even him that told Drew Doughty was his buddy Turcotte.
Yeah, I know.
Who told him?
Crazy. I don't know. Like, I feel like going in, he probably had an assumption like, oh, my dog's name's Doughty. I drafted by the Kings. Like, I'm sure as the day went along for him.
No, but he filled out that sheet.
The form. Yeah, exactly.
If you get to the draft and you're like, why wouldn't you just say like, my dog's name is Rex?
Exactly. You could have made it up.
Right?
It's not like a government form where you got to fill out.
My dog's name is Kopitar. Just change it. I don't know. I would be lying because then I'd be thinking the LA Kings are looking through like, this guy's a bit of a stalker here.
Exactly. It's weird. It's a weird one. But it was a great story. I loved it.
It was great.
Great stuff.
A great conversation with a guy that, as you said, born in Manly, Australia. Does it sound just tough?
It does sound tough.
It sounds like the exact opposite place where I would grow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I would be from.
Oh man, I don't know. It's We said it was a town. I think it's just a suburb of Sydney. So
that's
it's like
what he said.
yeah,
kind of a suburb of Sydney. But what right an interesting trajectory to go, Sydney to Japan to PEI. But like he kind of sloughed off when I said, like, wasn't that a lot of pressure when you're 13, 14 years old? Your dad's like, I think you can make the NHL. We're going to PEI. If I was 13, and my parents said, we think you could play Major League Baseball. We're moving halfway around the world. I'm like,
I'd be nervous about it, right?
So nervous.
Especially if you didn't speak the language.
Have you seen me bunt? Yeah. Have you seen me? I'm not sure this is going to,
It's like the Simpsons episode where he makes Bart the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're cut.
Yeah.
Jackson.
Oh, thanks. That's nice. But yeah, I know. It'd be a lot of pressure. And you don't speak the language. Like he barely spoke English, which is crazy.
And his English is flawless.
It really is, right?
From the Harry Potter.
From the Harry Potter, from what else did he say? Songs, the music. The Black Eyed Peas.
We should have said, let's get it started with Jordan Spence. Imagine the Black Eyed Peas. And who else was it?
It was LMFAO. Yeah, like Party Rock anthem.
Party Rock is in the house
2012.
No, but what a great, at the start of the year, and I wasn't lying when I said to open up the conversation with him. We went through the list of guests, and obviously we've had Timmy and Brady and Jake and Travis Green, and we've loved them all. But there was something about Jordan Spence that I thought was so intriguing that I don't think our fans knew his story at all. I don't think I just thought he's got such a unique story.
He does have a really unique story, right? Yeah. And we even said, like, how many citizenship, how many passports? Like, he's got a Japanese and Canadian passport. Like, he could have a third, right?
But he's not sure. But he's born in Australia. How could they deny him
a passport, basically, right?
They shouldn't.
I don't know. It's interesting. Like, how many people do you run across in your life where it's like you could have three citizenships if that's allowed? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
No, that was fantastic. Yeah. So we had a ton of fun
for sure
in that conversation with Jordan Spence. We want to remind our listeners and viewers that if you want to give us any feedback on that conversation with Jordan Spence, communications@ottawasenators.com is the email to hit us up with. You can also let us know the sport that you can thrive in denim.
Yep.
Our cameraman and producer Ben Coles threw out bull riding,
which they basically do.
You
in
have
jeans.
to wear.
Yeah. That and like horseback, like I don't know, like what's another one? Like all those kind of country, like
I want you to name 3 country saddle related sports right now.
Like I don't even know the name of it, but you see it on TV lasso? During the summer, the lasso, where like I feel like that's
Ted Lasso.
Sure, why not? But that sport, I don't know. You see in the you're lassoing the bull or whatever it is. Yeah, that's I don't know. I presume they're all wearing jeans.
Fall under the bull riding umbrella.
Probably. Yeah. But anyway, in that realm, that's where you'd wear jeans. What other sports, I guess, would you wear in jeans?
That's what we want to
find out. Again,
have you ever played goalie in jeans?
I haven't. No, I've played in sweatpants before, but it's not comfortable.
Yeah,
it's very sweaty.
Yeah.
There go the sweatpants.
There we go. Sweatpants. So hit us up with that. Communications@ottawasenators.com. Thoughts on, what sport could you play denim in? Jordan Spence. And keep your guesses coming. We're not going to, we debated narrowing it down. Should we almost 20 questions and kind of give you clues or whatever? But no, we had so many great guesses from Alanis to Yanni Hermé that we want to keep them coming so that nobody got it right. What jersey, the red one, that you can see a little bit of a letter E and maybe a number 1. That's all we're going to say. Whose jersey is it? Communications@ottawasenators.com. Keep the guesses coming and we'll read them out next time. I don't know what, I don't know what we've got. Shane Prince and
a couple good guesses. Again, like digging deep into Sens lore with a lot of these guesses. It was good. So keep them coming. We love it.
Keep them coming, and we'll read them next time. So we want to thank you for hanging out with us for the last 40 minutes or so. Hope you enjoyed the Jordan Spence episode, and we'll catch you next time.